For the vineyards in this region, we have what's called vine mealybug, and that has become pest number one. I would recommend Sutera to other growers, and I would say that Sutera has become the backbone of a program in the fight against the vine mealybug.
Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you from Fresno State. I'm here with Miguel Pedroza. He works in the Department of Viticulture Enology here. Just like a lot of people are asking the questions, what's the threshold for smoke taint when it comes to our wine grapes, and whether it should be rejected or further processed, or whatever is necessary so that they can make good wine, right? So what can you tell us about your research?
Well, we're doing a project where we're trying to identify this threshold value for a group of molecules. So typically, most of the threshold values that we have available in the literature are established for single molecules. But in smoke taint, we have a collection of at least 7 or 10 markers for smoke taint. So in our project, we built a cocktail of all of these molecules, and we're trying to establish at which level all of these molecules start signaling or start producing a adverse reaction, or at least first a detection. Right. We're working with 2 concepts: detection thresholds. That means when tasters can notice a difference in the wine, but they might not be exactly sure what it is. And then we're doing also a recognition threshold, which is when they can actually say this wine is smelling or smelling as smoke. So our project is trying to figure out these threshold values for Cabernet Sauvignon and Pinot Noir. And we're also investigating in the last phase how oak tannin can help to mask, whether additions of tannin can help to kind of give tasters a little harder time identifying this attribute, this smoke attribute.
Right. I mean, the wildfires aren't going away. This is going to be a problem. So coming up with this threshold is just essential. What kind of things are you noticing so far, results?
Yeah, well, one of the first results that we have is that the threshold values that we calculated are slightly lower than the reference values for some of the molecules. So, and what we're noticing as well is that the different varietals also shift the number. So depending on how that wine is packed, which varietal, which vineyard, those thresholds might be moving and raising awareness that threshold is not a fixed in stone value. It's really dependent on how that wine was produced, how much smoke went into the vineyard, how much maceration hours were taken into account, what type of yeast. All of these factors will end up building that concentration of molecules and create that matrix. And the threshold will move as a function of that matrix. So we kind of have a moving target in that sense.
That sounds pretty tough, and that the more we're learning about this, the more we're learning we don't know.
Yes, and again, the complexity is you don't have just a single molecule. It's not just one volatile compound. It's a collection of them, and their ratios, although apparently the ratios kind of stay relatively constant, they may change because the type of smoke will change depending on the zone, depending on what is burning. So we still have a long road ahead of us.
Great. So, I mean, you're going to still be working on this project for...
We have one more year of experiments. We finished the detection part last semester, and we're moving into the recognition threshold phase. And the last phase will be adding the tannin and see if we can mask, if we can kind of bump up the thresholds, meaning that we were masking the recognition of smoke. So one more year of sensory work there.
Well, it sounds great. Like we have some options to work with to try to fix this issue and Appreciate your work here at Fresno State. Read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.